Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tip. Max with you for the weekend ads of week 22. Nailed it last week with the Blues players and the goalie recommendations, and I hope to do the same this week for you guys. It's crunch time, it's fantasy playoff time, and the NHL has gifted us quite a hard schedule this time around, as no team in the league plays both Friday and Saturday, and only one plays Friday and Sunday. That team is the Pittsburgh Penguins, who after this weekend only have 9 games in the next 3 weeks, so not the best of schedule moving forward. If you're in a decent league, Yevgeny Malkin is already gone. He might have slowed down a bit, but his ceiling is so high you can't pick someone other than him on the Penguins. Brian Rust is a close second. They're both offensive players who play power play time. From here on out, we're looking at boomer bust, and we're playing the schedule. Philip Tomasino is on line 2, PP2 option, 3 points in the last 3 games, 9 shots, 6 hits, 2 blocks. Makes him the best option for deeper leagues from the Penguins. Matt Grilchik is back on PP1 for now. Career best 31 points, 11 coming from the man advantage. His floor is really subpar. High risk, high reward. Connor Dewar completes line 2, 3 points in the last 3 games, no power play time. Kevin Hayes is a 4th line center with PP1 time in the last week. Sneaky ad for deeper leagues. And Noel Acciari, solid Cats League guy. Bunch of hits, blocks, and residual face-off wins. He also plays PK1 with Brian Rust if you're chasing peripherals and or shorthanded points. For Saturday and Sunday, loaded schedule, 10 teams in action. We have the Boston Bruins, who only play 2 games next week. So because of schedule purposes, I'm personally fading. Buffalo Sabres are the only team playing 4 games next week. They do, however, have a tough weekend in Winnipeg and Minnesota away from home. We also have Carolina Hurricanes, Chicago Blackhawks, Florida Panthers, who just like the Bruins, I'm not picking up players here. You will see the usual suspects on the list if you're in a must-win now position. We also have the Nashville Predators, Philadelphia Flyers, St. Louis Blues, who have the softest matchups against Nashville and Chicago at home. For me, they have the easiest schedule. Tampa Bay Lightning, Vegas Golden Knights. I had the Blues ranked real high last weekend, and they did not disappoint. Why leave the winning train now? They have nice winnable matchups, and the guys' floors are amazing. The goals and points should keep coming, and all Holloway, Shen, and Neighbors play PP2. But it's worth noting they have a 1A, 1B unit, and they play 50% of all power plays, so don't be scared that they're not on PP1 on daily faceoff. Now, I know Josh Norris is really fragile, but I'm going to risk it. If he's back by the weekend, and with a 4-game week in week 23, Josh Norris could be a playoff winning clinching ad if he remains healthy. Expect him back in the top 6 on the top power play with a decent floor. Same thing for JJ Peterka. The schedule is really enticing. He should be back on the top power play, but he's more of a high risk, high reward pickup. Pavel Buchnevich, 4 points in the last 4 games. Blues have won 9 of the last 12 games, by the way. Sam Bennett is sure value. Just remember the schedule is not your friend here. Yanni Gourde, line 2 with Gwenzel and Braden Point, PP2, 5 assists in 7 games since being back in Tampa Bay. Cirelli, top line with Kucherov and Hagel, PP2 option. Ryan O'Reilly, top line, top power play with Nashville. One of my favorite shallow league streamers. Jason Zucker, top power play in Buffalo with a good floor and a great schedule. High rostered players, Mishkov, Tippett, who seem to have forgotten how to score. They've got 2 goals combined since March 1st. That's 18 games. At least Mishkov is on PP1. Dorofeyev, 6 points in the last 7 games. It's worth noting Vegas does not play until Thursday afterwards. You may want to consider that. And for the last month, Zach Bolduc has been so consistent. Shots, hits, residual blocks. Not only that, but he's on the PP1 right now, and he's producing. Maki Samoskevich would be ranked much higher if he had a better schedule. Unfortunately, Florida might have the worst fantasy playoff schedule in the league. This guy's line 2 PP1 with great results lately. Ryan McLeod, line 2 PP1 option. He has points in 5 of the last 6 games. Not bad for a 2% rostered player with 4 games next week. Oliver Bjorkstrand hasn't done well since getting in Tampa, but he's in a position to succeed. Top power play with Kucherov. It's only a matter of time before the points come. Like I said earlier, I'm fading the Bruins, but gotta put their top dog somewhere, and this is where they end up. Boston has only scored 23 goals in the last 10 games, anyways. Chicago is another team who only play Wednesday after the weekend. Ryan Donato surpassed the 50-point mark this week and remains their best target. William Karlsson should be back in action this weekend. We're either getting a 40-goal scorer form or Donut Central. That's a bunch of zeros across the board if you didn't know. I won't lie though, I kind of like this out of the park, high risk, high reward pickup. Then I got Turvo Teravainen, another Blackhawk with 52 points on the season. Terrible peripherals. However, Taylor Hall, I told you last week I was expecting a Taylor Hall breakout, and it finally came. 4 points in the last 3 games with 9 shots and a spot on the PP1 makes him appealing. Couple of Flyers PP1 options. Bobby Brink has 2 games in the last 11 where he compiled 3 points or more. He's a boomer bust. A couple of Hurricanes, we'll have to wait and see where they end up in the lineup come weekend time. But they're decent plugins, and I like them over Jackson Blake. And finally, Quinn and Zach Benson, PP2 options in Buffalo. Now on to defensemen. Chris Letang is now over 70% rostered, so he is in here. Another Blues player at number 1, can you blame me? Cam Fowler's got 7 assists in the last 5 games. He's the PP1D with no floor, but he's so hot that you have to ride the wave. Shane Gostisbehere, PP1 in Carolina, no floor, but the points come. Even Justin Falk is hot in St. Louis. I mean, he also has 7 points in the last 6 games and a better floor, but he does play PP2. The second overall pick has finally arrived and occupies the PP1. Lev Shunov, he's got 2 points in 4 games, 1 from the power play and averages 2 blocks a game. Beware of the plus minus. Bowen Byram, 4 assists in the last 3 games, PP2. Nick Blankenberg, PP1 in Nashville, 2 power play assists in the last 5 games, and his peripherals have improved. Brady Shea, PP2 in Nashville, 4 points in the last 6 games. Owen Power, 4 points in the last 3 games. Boomer bust. Mason Lohrei, PP1 in Boston since McAvoy is out, but remember the terrible schedule moving forward. And finally, Ryan McDonough, 3 assists in the last 6 games, 8 shots and 13 blocks. He is now the PP2 defenseman in Tampa. I'm fading Alex Vlasic, who lost his PP1 spot to Lev Shunov. I'm also fading Travis Sanheim, who is the worst 55+% rostered player in fantasy hockey, in my opinion. And I'm also fading Darren Radish, who's got 8 points in the last 7 games. Why, you may ask? Because he went a -5 during a 2-game stretch and got cut for a game against Philly last week. Since being back, he went from averaging 20+ minutes to playing 11 minute 27 and 12 minute 3 seconds. He still managed to obtain 2 points, but I don't think it's sustainable. He lost his power play spot, and I may be mistaken, and only time will tell, but I think it's time to leave the ship before it sinks, especially at this time of the year. As for the Sunday goalies, I have Freddie Anderson, easy matchup against Anaheim. Joel Hofer, the Blues have been doing well. David Riddick, Spencer Knight, Philadelphia ain't scoring much. Give me Chicago in this matchup. Vitek Vanacek should get the Sunday matchup. And between Vegas and Tampa Bay, it's a flip of the coin. You have Ilya Samsonov on one side and probably Johansson on the other. Philadelphia's Ilya Fedotov and Tristan Jarry. Jarry's been doing very well since coming back, but this is a nightmare matchup. I also have to fade Luukkonen, James Reimer, Jonas Korpisalo, Anunen. Nashville have only scored 2 goals in the last 3 games. And I'm also fading John Gibson and Luka Dostal against the red-hot Carolina Hurricanes team. Now let's take a look at categories. For shots, I have Sam Bennett 3.2, Dorofeyev 3, Stankoven and Tippett 2.5, Mishkov 2.4, Carlson, Holloway, Burns, Donato 2.3, JJ Peterka 2.2. For the blocks, I have Nick Seeler 2.5, Connor Murphy 2.4, Sanheim, McNabb 2.1, and Lev Shunov and Cam York at 2 blocks per game. For hits, another Blues player at number 1, Nathan Walker 3.7, Colton Dack 3.5, Greenway 3, Gadjevich 2.8, Greer 2.7, Bakunji Mama is back 2.6, Malinson 2.6, Zadorov 2.6, Toropchenko 2.6. And for the face-offs, we have Jordan Stahl 9.6, O'Reilly 9.5, Lindholm 9.3, Couturier and Cirelli 8.3, Jason Dickinson 7.9, Ryan McLeod 7.6, Carlson 7.4, Norris 7.4, and Braden Shen 7.3. And that's it for today, guys. I hope this video helps you out and brings you another perspective on some of these waiver wire options. If you like the content, click the like button, subscribe to our channel. It's always much appreciated. I wish everybody good luck, and I will see you next week for more fantasy playoff suggestions. Bye, guys.